I'm reading from a teleprompter, so it's a bit like being a robot. The cornerstone of this healing is to finally give voice to an expression which had been silenced under threat for a decade, and to release the names of the teachers that are indicated in videos 1 through 7 on the website integrityandtruth.com. This will be the end of being the holder for the lies and deceptions of those teachers and for betraying my own self during those years. Video 8 indicates the many in the non-dual community, inclusive of teachers who are engaging in a systemic cover-up involving collusion, complicity, and coercion regarding their knowledge of these teachers and of what occurred in this life. A couple of those teachers will be named in this video. Truth is always the right answer. In this case, the truth may cause some hardship. This is in no way a pleasant truth, and I'm most certainly not deliberately intending to hurt the very teachings, teachers, and organizations I loved so much for so many years. Yet, that may be what's going to happen. It is my responsibility, however, to speak up regarding the truth of this situation. In doing so, I also clearly understand that this situation was not intentional to me. Nonetheless, by continuing to be silent, I would be contributing to the illusion that these teachers created. If I did not speak up, I would not only be continuing to hold up a veil to the truth, I would also be slowing down my own process and progress, if not halting it altogether. The guidance is that I absolutely must speak the truth of what I was being forced to hold, which was the lies of these teachers. I have to point it out and to speak it out. In speaking the actual names and words, I will no longer energetically be carrying them. The teachers involved are the two teachers at SOT, the Society of Abidance and Truth in Santa Cruz, California. The main teacher is Nome. It is Nome who I pointed to when referring to the extreme occult controls in video number 5, which I feel he thought I'd never find out about. His brother Russell Smith was Nome's co-teacher over the years I was with SOT, 1989 through 2011. Russell seemingly left in 2011 to start the Way of Sudden Awakening with his wife Helga Schleiter-Smith. Russell carried on with those lies in the Way of Sudden Awakening and took the sudden turn of talking against Nome and then requiring each of us in turn to do the same thing. This was not something I could do, so I had to leave. After a short while, I returned back to SOT, whereupon entering the satsang hall, there was Russell sitting next to Nome. During this time, Russell was working with Candice O'Denver, also known as Candice Rinpoche, to establish Great Freedom, later known as Balanced View. Great Freedom would never answer my emails, as they knew from where I hailed. Instead, Candice sent down answers, which Nome relayed in silence, right in the middle of satsang. All three of these teachers, Nome, Russell, and Candice, as well as Sasvati also known as Judy, wife of Nome, and Helga, wife of Russ, partook in the deceptions. My cat food. The separating out of even longtime members at SOT involved an intricate series of lies, which I attributed to being for the benefit of waking up a greater amount of people. A popular excuse for lying in various teaching circles. The fact is, these teachers operated within a web of deceptions, the burden of which fell squarely on these shoulders. Because these teachers took those deceptions so far down the rabbit hole, they had to not only silence me, but devise ways to control the entirety of this life. While many have never experienced extreme psychic controls, it has been intense, especially as I started opening up about what I had been forced to carry all these years. With that in mind, a bit of clarifying on the original videos available on the website, which do not use names, so it's confusing. Videos 1 through 4 detail the original deceptive splitting up of the two teachings. Videos 5 through 7 detail the occult controls, manipulations, and reveal a small portion of what occurred with the extreme misuse of cities or occult powers in this life. That was a bunch. Video 8 details a handful of the many teachers who covered for Nome, Russell, and Candice, and to this day know what occurred in this life and in the lives of my family. Why did it take me so long to come forth? A combination of a devoted heart plus the deepest of threats, which occurred in 2011, and which could only be called a death threat, should this information ever become public knowledge, plus the weight of other currently acting teachers, such as Adya and Gangaji, who are not being singled out, but to merely indicate the extent that this corruption went. Their indication to me had to be very subtle, although Gangaji in particular was up front, even naming Nome by name in the first 10 minutes of her talk, which no one does. Video 5 details the extreme misuse of cities, including, but not limited to, auric block for purposes of relational control, affecting absolutely every area of this life, psychic implant for extreme surveillance, physical surveillance, isolation, and marginalization. What was the purpose of those lies? Many teachers have used the excuse that their out-of-integrity actions were for the purposes of waking up more people. At what point do deceptive means justify the ends, if at all? Did they want to eliminate those who might be jealous as they ventured into very obvious husband-wife teaching teams, as many other teachers were doing at that time? I've never been a jealous person, even Nome admitted to this fact. As these teachers are teachers who have, across the spectrum, the vast support of the majority of non-dual teachers who have shown how however subtly, not only their support for Nome, Russell, and Candice, but their willingness for a vast system-wide web of cover-up, collusion, complicity, and coercion that almost proved to be the end of this life and of my family. This ends a many lifetimes karmic cycle of being silenced with this lifetime. Appropriately, it is being released on the Aries new moon 2021. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions whatsoever regarding the series of events, especially the occult controls in videos 5 through 7 and the systemic cover-up in video 8, please do not hesitate to contact me using the contact form on the website www.integrityandtruth.com. Namaste.